All right. Now, yesterday we saw the first 20 slides. Okay. One moment. We saw the levels of strategies. Corporate level. The various levels of strategic management process. All right. One moment. Was this we saw? Yes. Okay. Now, what is the process of strategic management? All right. Now, we saw yesterday what was strategy? We saw the different levels of strategy, and today we are going to see the strategic management process. Now, organizations to possess dual capability. Now, what do you mean by dual? The word dual itself says that the capability has to be increased in two aspects. First is build and sustain competitive advantage. Now, what is competitive advantage? Can anyone tell me? We saw yesterday the SWOT analysis of the company. Strength, threats, opportunities, and weakness. So competitive advantages means we are going to compete with other organizations in the market, right? So maybe two companies may have the same product. Their market segmentation might be different to a certain level, but if the company studies on their opportunities and threats, that will help them to have a policy for a better competitive advantage and earn above average profits. Because any business, if we see, the main objective of any business is profit maximization and to take a calculated risk. So we have vision, mission, objectives. Now, if you see at the right hand side, your right hand side or my right hand side, okay, according to how you share the screen, we have common shared objectives, which is also known as the CSO. Then we have the strategic intent. Intent means what is your purpose behind the strategic formulation? Why do you think that the strategy or the line of action should be in this way? Then formulation of action plans. We are formulating the action plans. We have a plan one, we have a plan two, we have a plan three. And then the second aspect would be the implementation of action plans. That is, we have so many possibilities, but what would be the best possibility to work out so any company gets maximum profits, profit maximization? Then we have the audit review. Audit review is, we see if a strategy is going in the right on the right track, we are getting the desired results, if there are some lacunae or loopholes which are left behind. So that is called as PERT, program evaluation review technique, which we will see it in the long run. Then we have the strategic management process. ADIA, we call it. That is analysis, design, implementation, and audit. Again, I repeat, analysis, design, implementation, and audit. Now, what is analysis? Can anyone read that analysis? Can anyone read? Can anyone read what is analysis? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Ishika, you're there. Good morning.
Good morning. Ma'am.
Yeah. I hope you understand these PowerPoint presentations. I have made it with a point keeping your final interviews or placements in line. All right. So whatever words I'm using, try to inculcate those words in your interview. So analysis, design, implementation, and audit, which is termed as suitable framework for formulation, implementation, and control on strategy. First, let us see what is analysis. Analyze and define external conditions. The pest environmental scan. Then the competitor analysis and identifying competitive conditions, assessing degrees, assessing degree and structure of conditions and competitions. And then we have the Porter's five forces model, which is very, very important from the examination point of view also. If you see the last year's question papers, you will see Mr. Porter everywhere in the question paper. So Porter's five forces model will always define the industry competitiveness, and then we'll have the value chain analysis. Now let's see what is internal scanning. Internal scanning is what we also talk about the internal environment of the company. So in the book, if you see internal environment, don't get confused. The words are the same. Allocation of resources, capability, and competency mapping. Now, what is competency mapping? Putting the right person in the right place. Strategic group mapping, also called as GIA. Performance benchmarking. Now, performance benchmarking means, okay, if I have this strategy, keeping my vision and mission in mind, and my plans are such, so what could be the performance level my organization will reach? So depending upon that, we can set the key result areas for each and every individual. For example, if I give you a task today, I am going to give you certain questions so that you can start studying at home. I have set your KRAs and you will show it to me on Saturday. Or maybe if Saturday, Sunday is a weekend, you please come and show it to me on Monday. So I'm setting your KRAs. Now, how am I going to set your KRAs? I'll know, okay, my students are busy with the SIP. All right. Most of the students are working from 10 to 6 for the SIP. So I need to give them a time bound where they can, in those 3 4 days, you can do justice to your SIP, you can take care of your health, you can have a sound sleep, and simultaneously you do this subject as well. So I have set your KRAs. Now, target of your KRAs I have given on Monday. So on Monday, if not Monday, if you're free on Saturday, you please come and show it to me. Now, I have made a forecasting. Okay, out of 100 students, maybe 90 students will show me on the deadline, that is Saturday. Out of those remaining 10, 5 students will call, oh, ma'am, I am not well, as usual. A hypothetical statement I am making. Okay, I am not well, so can I show it on Monday? Some students will say, oh, ma'am, I forgot. I did not get the questions. So can I show it on Tuesday? So this is a line of action, and this is something what we forecast. Okay, this can be the performance level. This can be the performance benchmarking, what my students are going to do. Then, as usual, we spoke yesterday, SWOT analysis. Now, say SWOT can be at an individual level also, and SWOT can be at the organization level also. Then we have CSFs. I will explain you what is CSFs later. And core versus distinctive competency. Competency plays a very, very important role. Then we have, let's see the process. The design or the formation of strategy. Design strategic action plans based on the external environment conditions and the internal resource mapping. Now, external environment conditions, as we discussed yesterday, we always work in two environments. One is the internal environment of the organization. The other is the external environment, which can be your stakeholders, your customers, then government policies. Then Porter's, the generic strategy, like we are going to use the Porter's model, the integrated strategic approach, hyper competition in the fast cycle sectors. Please keep this in mind whenever you face an interview and they ask you, you need to speak this language. Hyper competition in the fast cycle sectors. Then early mover advantage and sustainability. What do you mean by sustainability? You have to be there in the market. You cannot say, oh, today I'm tired. All right. Today, our teachers made us run from pillar to post. No way. You have to tune yourself according to the market conditions. Then traditional grand strategies. What were the strategies which were implemented in the past, and what are the strategies we are implementing now in the present, and what strategies can be implemented in future? So we are doing the future forecasting. But whenever we are doing a strategic planning in the present, we always need to go back and see what the previous people had done in the organization. Then expansion and diversification. Expansion and diversification, which tells us about market diversity and product diversity. Now, during the pandemic, what happened during the pandemic? People did not step out. There was a lockdown. But still, people were getting whatever they needed at home through online marketing. So, online marketing has given a full fledged diversification. And even after the pandemic, we are very comfortable ordering things online. Then we have product diversity. Again, online, we see different products. And what happens is after we got the product diversity, the products were also at cheap rates. So that becomes the expansion and diversification. Then the strategic management process will involve the BCG growth share matrix. We will see what is BCG growth share matrix. That is, BCG stands for Boston Consultancy Group, and ILC model. We'll come to ILC model. Then strategic options under various industry settings. Industry settings. We don't have only manufacturing, automobile, or an auto ancillary industry. We have FMCG industries, then we have the service sectors, we have e-commerce, then international level strategies. International level strategies. Now you all know Tesla is coming to India. Are you aware? Are you aware?
Yes, ma'am, in Pune.
Yes, Tesla is coming, and where it is coming? The office is at Viman Nagar.
Viman.
So what type of strategies will Elon Musk have at the Indian context? Then turnaround strategy. Turnaround strategy. What will turnaround strategy tell us? Any idea? What will turnaround strategy tell us? Any idea? Any idea, please? Turnaround strategy. Yes? See, turnaround strategy is a process. You know, what we are doing in this process, we are trying to restructure and transform the company. If a company is undergoing a loss, we will try to restructure and transform the company from loss to profitability. So, in this process, the company gets time to stabilize its performances, and it it gets back to its original original state. Okay. So what will happen? Now, how this turnaround strategy depends on what parameters? It will depend upon the commitment and dedication of the people, right from top management to the lower management. Is it clear? Then we have consolidation and restructuring options. Now, what is consolidation and restructuring options mean? Can anyone tell me? Consolidation and restructuring options. Now, any company for that matter will have different units. Will have like they will have a marketing department, they will have a production department, they will have a finance department, they will have an HR department, they will have a purchase department. So all these units, all these heads will come together and they will form a single large organization. So if we can say that this business consolidation or this consolidation and restructuring options, we can also term them as legal strategy, and that is often done in any organization to improve the operations, to improve the working. Now, to improve the working means what exactly happens? That is, we are going to reduce the efficiency of the employees by reducing the redundant processes. Redundant processes means I am also doing the same work and you are also doing the same work. So that is called as redundancy. That is repetitive work uh, done by everybody. So what can be the best example of, please write it. If you have a pen and paper, please write, of consolidation. I'm giving you an example of consolidation and restructuring options. The best examples would be, Facebook. All right. Yes. You all know Facebook? Answer please. Do you all know Facebook? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Facebook has acquired Instagram, and Disney has acquired Fox, right? So this is called as consolidation. Then mergers, acquisitions, synergies, and value addition. Now, what is mergers? What is mergers and acquisition? What is merger and acquisition? Tell me in a layman's language. Tell me what you understand. A
When
merger,
two companies get
yeah,
together, they
huh?
do merger.
Yes,
And acquisition means one company acquiring some another
other
company.
company. Very good. Very good. A merger means when two separate companies are coming together and creates one new organization. So they are merging. Acquisition is like taking over one company by the other company. So now what is happening? These two words are really used hand in glove. All right. So can you tell me what can be any idea about what a merger can be? Example of mergers.
Vodafone and Idea merger.
Okay, very good. And anything else? Only
Canada
Ishika is answering.
Bank, Canada Bank merger with Syndicate Bank.
Okay, Syndicate Bank merger with Canara Bank. And okay, do you
First
know
plus
this?
Byju's.
Very good. Okay, do you know this Heinz ketchup? It was a brown color bottle, Heinz tomato ketchup. Okay, now Heinz tomato ketchup, it merged with Kraft Foods. Kraft Foods, they merged. Okay, they merged together and they formed a new entity or a new joint organization called as Kraft Heinz Company, and it became a leading global food and a beverage firm. What can be another example? What can be another example? Google has an acquisition of Android. Yes. Then Disney has an acquisition of Pixar and Marvel. These are the examples, few examples. Now, can you tell me something, examples of merger companies in India? We'll have Flipkart and Myntra going hand in hand. Then Bank of Baroda, Vijaya Bank, and Dena Bank. As Ishika rightly said, Vodafone and Idea. Then we have the Future Group and the Heritage Foods. Then we have Zomatos and Uber. These are the examples of mergers. Now, can you tell me examples of acquisition? Yes. Examples of acquisition.
Tata Group in Air India.
Which one?
Tata
Okay.
Group acquisition in Air India.
Okay. Google has round about $50 million acquisition of Android in 2005. Did you know that? Then, very good. Who said this Tata Group? Please name yourself.
Shresh.
What's your name, bache?
My name is Shresh.
Okay, very good, Shreyas. Tata Group acquired Air India, uh, and what Air India is a national airline, and then Tata also announced simultaneously the merger of Air India with Wisteria. It was now the merger of Air India with Wisteria. If you're not aware, it was a joint venture between Singapore Airlines and Tata Sons. What can be the best example of successful acquisition? Google and Android. Okay. Then any other example? Is there any something called as language acquisition or example of growth through acquisition? Any examples you have in your mind? Can you name some acquisitions in India as Tata Group, apart from Tata Group? We have Elon Musk and Twitter. Then we have Adani Group with NDTV. We have HDCF Limited with HDFC Bank, to name a few. Then let's see strategic management processes, implementation and execution, corporate governance and ethics, strategic leadership, very important, change management. Now, change management. See, every person, the behavioral pattern of an individual, they resist to change. Why they resist to change? Because everybody wants to work in the comfort zone. So change management becomes very imperative. It becomes a very, very important part of the strategic management process. Then we have the HRM initiatives. Now, what do you mean by HRM initiatives? What is HRM initiatives? Any idea? Yes? Okay. What happens is when we have an effective HR initiation in an organization, we have certain policies to retain the top performance. That means the company has good policies of retaining the top talent. What happens in this course? We improve our recruitment process. We improve our joining process. We reduce the turnover. That is, attrition comes in control. In any sector, attrition more than 15% always gives a question mark on the organizational culture. So very good HRM initiatives will help you to retain the top talent. They will reduce your turnaround time for your recruitment process. You will have good attrition policies. You will improve employment engagement, and you will always motivate for productivity. Okay, so HRM initiatives are nothing but they are the what do you say, bundles of human resources practices which are carried out in the internal environment of the organization. Is it clear? Is it clear? Are you understanding? Then revamp of process, systems, resources, and facilitating strategies, which is the critical 7S model. As we come, I'm going to explain. Then we have the audit. Now, what do you mean by audit? Audit. A for audit. Performance, measurement, and audit. Okay. Now, suppose if I give you a task and I want to know how you all are doing it. So what am I going to do? I am going to set some parameters, and based on that parameters, I am going to rate your performance on a scale of say 1 to 5. Then we have periodic monitoring and evaluation. Very important, periodic monitoring, because whenever we set a strategy and whenever we give certain goals to the people of the organization, we have to monitor them. Now, monitor means what? Monitor means exactly what we are doing. Any idea? What we do in monitoring? What is the difference between periodic monitoring and continuous monitoring? Okay. Now, periodic monitoring is an ongoing process in the organization. But in periodic monitoring, there is no timeliness, and we have the level of visibility. Okay, the level of visibility of the management should be in such a way that we have to give a proactive response. Mark my words, a proactive response. We cannot be reactive. There is a difference between being reactive and being proactive. Being reactive always spoils the situation. When you are proactive, you always respond it in a better way. So a proactive response to certain issues, all right, certain issues that continuous monitoring can provide. Now, continuous monitoring, when you are doing it, you come to know about the issue, and then you need to tackle that issue in the most proactive way. So in a nutshell, if we I need to elaborate on this monitoring process, we can have four types of monitorings. One can be the surveillance monitoring, right? We always read you are under the surveillance of the cameras. Then that means you're monitored by the camera. Your gestures are monitored by the camera. Your activities are monitored by the camera. In the class, if there is a camera, you'll be monitored. What are you doing in the class? Then implementation monitoring, that okay, I have implemented this policy. Is the policy going on the right track? Are people understanding what is the policy? And then effectiveness monitoring. Is my policy giving me? I have implemented a plan, I have implemented a policy. Am I getting the desired results? And ecological effects monitoring. Ecological effects. Like now, see, ecological effects, if I say I can collaborate it as the collective effect of the external and the internal environment. Are you getting me? Are you getting? Yes? So in a nutshell, the periodic monitoring will be a direct observation and assessment of the circumstances. Is it clear? Is it clear? Then we have classify yardsticks and measure for corporate success. Now, classify yardsticks means what? What are the yardsticks? What is the meaning of a yardstick? In a dictionary language, a yardstick is nothing but a ruler. All right? So we do some yardstick measurements. We use some classification. So yardstick means we generally involve the comparison of business activities to see the difference in the level of performance between the two intended studies. For example, okay, for example, I am going to buy tomatoes in the market. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You buy from one person, or there are 2, 3 people sitting with tomatoes. Okay, you'll go to one person, you'll check the quality of tomatoes. Then you say, no, first let me see the other one, and then I will decide with whom to buy. So you have a yardstick method. Are you getting what is a yardstick? So in the HR context or in the strategic management context, yardstick will help the HR leaders to collect, share, and compare the important information to measure the current performances and target future improvements. So my yardstick is my students should get, all my students should get 80% and above in their MBA examination. They should at least aim for an A plus grade. So that is the yardstick for us. Is it clear? Are you understanding? Please answer. Are you understanding what is the meaning of yardstick? Yes? Are you understanding? Shreyas, Ishika, Renuka.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, where you'll go giving the phone? Okay. The next is identify the critical gaps and the issues. Now, what is a critical gap? What is a critical gap? Okay. Critical gap is an important parameter which will help us to determine the capacity and the delay of a minor problem. So it is a judgment threshold. Okay, it is a judgment threshold. Now what? Now for example, I'll give you an example of Lakshmi Road and a train. Now Lakshmi Road is very small. Can we run a train to Lakshmi Road? Can we put a train on Lakshmi Road? Can we put a railway track on Lakshmi Road? Hmm? Can we? Can we? No, we cannot. Na? The road is too small and the train is too big. The road is crowded. But if a PMT bus is traveling to Lakshmi Road, how will he go? He will have the smallest gap. The bus driver is willing to merge. He is merging with the circulating traffic, and then he will slowly, he will take the bus out. This is possible because it is a bus. But I cannot put an aeroplane or a train on Lakshmi Road. That will not even fit into a critical gap analysis. So, critical gap analysis is you try to uh, accept to merge with this to merge with the situation. And if there is a smallest gap, you accept the smallest gap and navigate it to that road. That is your critical gap analysis. Then introduce course corrective actions. What is meaning of introduce course corrective actions? Yes. What is course corrective action? What is the meaning of corrective action? What is the meaning of corrective action? Okay. Now, corrective action is commonly used when you set your KRAs for your employees and they fail to meet the performance standards. That means, suppose you said, "Give I need 4 questions in this week," and then you give me only 2 questions. So I need to take corrective measures. I need to think, oh, like were 4 questions more, or like they had lots of homework in the weekend, or my students were not able to understand the question, or my students what you say, the concepts were not clear, they did not have time. So when I study all the parameters, I need to take some corrective actions. So these actions in corporate world can be warnings, they can be suspensions, sometimes they have to be dismissal also. But when I was working, I always took the corrective action in a positive way, try to motivate them, follow the law of empathy. So, corrective action actually is a training session that will correct, mold, and improve the performance of the person. All right. Now, continuous cyclical process. Now, what is a cyclical process? Okay, now if you study, if you have been in 11th and 12th, those students who have taken science, for them, the cyclic process is where the initial and the final states will be the same. That is a cyclical process. Okay, that is the dictionary meaning of cyclical process. But what happens in a cyclical process? What will happen in a cyclical process in management? Can you tell me? Yes? Yes? So when we talk about the continuous cyclical process, it is nothing but the continuous performance management. It is a continuous management process which happens over and over again throughout the year. Now, this cyclical process will consist of planning. Now, planning itself is made up of goals and expectations. Then checking in. Checking in means what? How do you do the check-in? The checking in is always done through the open communication and coaching. What do you mean by open communication? Open communication means you go to your supervisor, you go to your immediate manager. If you have any problems, you share with him or her. And then it is not only the problem. See, in corporate, nobody will appreciate if you come with the problem. How your approach is going to be? You have a problem, you take the tentative solution, and then you talk to your immediate supervisor or your manager and boss and tell him, sir, this is the problem I am having, and according to me, this is the solution. If you could please guide me to have a better possibility. All right. That is a continuous performance process. So the cycle involves planning, and within the parameters of planning, we'll have goal settings and expectations. Checking in, it will be through open communication and coaching. You please have to learn, okay, open communication, students. And review. What is the review? We have a transparent and a frequent feedback. That is a continuous cyclic process. Can you give an example? So if I have to explain you overall this continuous cyclic process, I will put it into 5 main phases, which will be initiation, planning, design, implementation, and monitoring. Is it clear? Have you followed? Have you followed? Anyone with any difficulty, please tell me now. Any difficulty?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, good examples in corporate about continuous improvement. We can have, there are think tanks. You know what is a think tank, Yeah, think tanks. That means there are people who are mm, who are there to guide you and who are there to advise you. So they are periodic think tankers. Then we can do a survey. People who work for a company and they are the most knowledgeable people, they will have some specific improvements and they can in the existing process by a survey method. Then they can have a training method. They can have a time management method, and they'll have a catch ball. Please write it in your notebook. The catch ball method, in which a single person rarely starts and completes the process within an organization. So catch ball. They can ask you in your interview the catch ball. All right. So next is the balance scorecard. What is the balance scorecard? I'm just highlighting, okay? I'm going to take this in detail. So what is a balance scorecard? Now, a balance scorecard refers to a strategic management performance metric used to identify, and it also helps to improve the various internal business functions. Okay, the various internal business function, and it also studies the external outcomes. The external outcomes. So this is, I'm going to explain you balance scorecard model in detail. Then we have the corporate social responsibility, and then we have certain schemes and programs where the companies have to undertake. So it is going to be NGOs, that is the what is an NGO? What is an NGO? Yes,
Non-government organization.
who is this? Who answered?
Renuka.
Very good, Renuka. And what is VOs? What is
No, I
VO?
don't know.
Okay, you don't know? Anyone who knows what is a VOs?
Voluntary organization.
Slowly, slowly, one at a time, please. Yes.
Voluntary organization.
Okay, voluntary organization process. Very good. Who was this? When you answer, please tell me your name so I know who is answering.
Vaishnavi.
Okay, Vaishnavi, very nice. Very good. So, up till here, any difficulty? Up till here, any difficulty? Are you understanding my language?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you understanding my English in the first place?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is this? Who said yes, ma'am? Your name, please.
Nakhate Baba sir.
Okay. You're understanding my English, what I'm telling you, what I'm explaining you point wise. Are you jotting it down? If you still don't understand, you can come to the placement cell. Now let's have some activity. Everybody has a notebook and a pen in hand. Yes? Everybody?
No, ma'am.
You don't have a notebook? You can type it in your
Ma'am,
mobile. Or
I'm traveling right now.
who is traveling? Who is traveling? Vaishnavi, are you traveling?
Yes,
Okay, who is traveling? I'm just giving you a question. Just keep it in mind. Um, and I'll tell you when to show it to me. Define strategy. Define strategy. Are you all writing it down or you type it in your mobile? Define strategy. Explain the nature of strategy. Second question. Second question. Explain the different levels of strategy in detail. Explain the different levels of strategy in detail. All right. All right. Yes. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why such a low energy? Yes. Now, what can be the issues in strategic formulation? When you are making a strategy, what can be different issues which you can face? Let's summarize one by one. Yes, can you tell me? Now, we see strategy formulation. You are the manager of the company. What issues can you face in strategic formulation?
inaccurate forecast.
Inaccurate? Yeah, please tell me.
Forecast.
Okay. Okay. And this was Vaishnavi, right? And what else? Yes. What can be the next? Vision and mission of the company is not clear. So you cannot do any goal settings. You cannot align all the people towards goal settings. Some people are not change agents in the company. They will resistance to the change. For example, people who are working on the typewriter, it took lots of time for the people working on the typewriter to come into the computer mode. And what else? We are not able to track the progress. Then people are not getting used to the new strategies. What else can be? What else? Please come up.
Changes in some rules, regulation, guidelines.
Very good. And there are no indicators as to where we are heading to. Yeah. There are no indicators. Oh, whether we are going in the right direction. So everybody wants to move in different directions and there is no indication. Anything else? Anything else? And what type of issues can we face when we are planning a strategy? Issues when we are planning a strategy. Yeah. Nobody wants to take the ownership of the job, right? The onus of the job people are very reluctant to take. Then lack of communication skills in the internal environment. Then we can have lack of alignment, that is, all people are not aligned towards the goal. So this indicates a poor goal setting. And slow adoption. People don't want to adopt, they're very slow adopters. Secondly, lack of commitment in the planning process. Then focusing on the present at the expense of the future. Then too much reliance on the organization's planning. Too much reliance on the organization planning department. What does it mean? If the organization says you nod your head, you are going to nod your head. So there is no individual opinion. So when there is no individual opinion, what will happen? You cannot give your inputs, right? You cannot give your inputs. Anything else according to you? Now, issues in strategic planning in the Indian context. What I told you previously was general. In the Indian context, what we can see when we talk about strategic planning at a macro level, we will see the economic growth of the country. Then we can see social justice and equality. We can see modernization of economy. We can see increase in employment. Then reduction in poverty. So what can be the major issues related to planning for the future? See, in the present state, if your strategic planning is not up to the mark, it is poor, then you can have issues in the future. All right. So whatever you decide in the future, whatever you decide in the present, that will be the foundation stone of your future planning. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, what I'll do is, once we finish this topic, related to this topic, we'll do a small case study. All right. And I will put it on the group, I mean, on the college website. You need to take the printout, and I'll tell you 2 days in prior when you need to have the printout in hands, and then we are going to discuss that case. We are going to discuss that case. Anything you would like to know in today's topic, something which you have not followed, you're confused, you would like to have more information, please let me know now. 5 minutes I'm giving you to have a questionnaire with me. Anything? Right? Okay. We have Shreya Katkar, Shreyas Manthalkar. Shreyas, are you there? You'll have all muted yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Mayur, are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayur. Kiran? 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 Sanya? Sanya? Abhijit? Please answer. Onkar? Vikas?
Yes, ma'am.
Vikas, you're there? So you're
Yes,
following what
ma'am.
I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Vikas. Then we have Rohan. Rohan Chavan. Vaishnavi. Dikshita. Ishika.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Saurav.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Renuka. Then we have Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi Jadhav already called your name. Shailaja.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you, Shailaja?
Fine, ma'am.
Good. Then we have Sakshi. Then, okay. I hope you're following what I'm trying to tell you. I hope you understand my English.
Yes, ma'am.
Still any difficulty? Please stop me there and there, all right? Then we have, 1 minute, Suraj. Suraj, Rohan Gandhi, Saurabh Pandav, Saurabh, Shantanu, Tejal,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, Praveen Wagmare. Praveen, thank you for sending a message on Teachers' Day. Then Shivraj Gowde. Thank you for sending a Teachers' Day message to all of us. Praveen, thanks a lot. All right. Still, any difficulty in today's session, please let me know. Last 5 minutes, I'm giving you to ask me any question if you wish to ask me. Any questions? And I hope you have copied the question what I have given you so that you can start studying. Don't wait for the last moment. I want you all to get at least 80 plus in strategic management. Any difficulty? Any difficulty?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes, everybody is understanding what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to explain you.
Yes, ma'am.
See, the words what I've put in my PowerPoint presentation that will help you to face an interview. Is it clear? So when I'm talking randomly. I've got the PowerPoint in front of me and I'm explaining to that in simple words. So if you think something is important, you please jot it down in your notebooks. Okay? Okay? I hope everybody is going good through the SIPs. You're not having any problems there. You know what you're doing. Everybody's SIP is going smoothly.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody's SIP.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will call one by one. You tell me. Shreyas, what about your SIP? Is it going well?
Ma'am.
Shreyas,
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
yes, who is this, please?
Yeah.
Who?
Shreya Katkar.
Yeah, tell me, Nashriya.
Ma'am, my SIP is going well.
Very good. You're understanding what you're doing. There are
Yes, ma'am.
maximum credits for your SIP here.
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to do it properly. Very good. Shreyas? Not
Yes,
answering.
ma'am. My
How is
SIP
your-
is very
is
nice.
all right. Mayur?
Poor guy.
Good. You're understanding now. What are you doing there?
Yes, ma'am.
Mayur?
Yes, ma'am. Going
Okay.
well.
Okay. Kiran? Kiran? Sania?
Yes,
Sania,
ma'am.
how is
Yes,
your
ma'am.
SIP going on?
Ma'am, very well.
Any difficulties you're facing while doing an SIP?
No, ma'am. No.
If you have any difficulty, immediately come to the college and ask your subject matters. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Please don't wait for the last moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Abhijit Shinde? Abhijit? Vikas? Vikas? Rohan? Vaishnavi? Vaishnavi?
My SIP is going good.
Good. Okay, fine. Dikshita?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Okay,
going
SIP
good.
is going good? All
Yes,
right.
yes.
Ishika?
Yes, ma'am. My also SIP is going well.
Renuka?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Vaishnavi Jadhav? How is the SIP going on? Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
How is the SIP going on?
It's going on good.
Good. Okay. Then we have Bala Sahib here. How it is going on? Then Suraj? Rohan? Saurabh? Shantanu? How is the SIP going on? Praveen? All right. But still, if you have any difficulties during your SIP, you immediately come to the college. All right? Okay? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I end my session today. Huh? Thank you for being for the session. I will see you tomorrow. Any difficulty, I repeat again, please come to the college. I have given you certain tasks. Please do it. The deadline would be a Saturday. Is it Saturday okay for you people? At least start writing. You'll start preparing for the examination side by side. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo, thank you very much. Bye. Have a nice day.